Welcome to the Wonderland, where we bring you the things you wonder from around the world. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss our video. Japan will soon release treated radioactive water from the Fukushima nuclear plant into the ocean, a move that has been met with controversy and concern from neighboring countries and local fishermen. The state-owned electricity firm, Tokyo Electric Power Company, TEPCO, has built over 1,000 massive tanks to contain what is now 1.32 million metric tons of wastewater, enough to fill more than 500 Olympic pools. But space is running out, and the company says it needs to free up space to safely decommission the plant. The main issue with the wastewater is a hydrogen isotope called radioactive tritium, which cannot be removed. However, the Japanese government and the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, say that the contaminated water will be highly diluted and released slowly over decades, thus meeting international safety and environmental regulations. The wastewater will be treated to filter out all the removable harmful elements, and the water will be stored in tanks and analyzed to measure how radioactive it still is. Much of it will be treated a second time, according to TEPCO. The wastewater will then be diluted to 1,500 becquerels of tritium per liter of clean water and released through an undersea tunnel off the coast into the Pacific Ocean. Third parties, including the IAEA, will monitor the discharge during and after its release. The IAEA has given its approval for the plan, with its chief, Rafael Grossi, saying that the discharge of treated water into the sea would have a negligible radiological impact on people and the environment. The Japanese government and the IAEA also argue that tritium occurs naturally in the environment, from rain to seawater to tap water, and even in the human body, so releasing small amounts into the sea should be safe. They point out that nuclear plants around the world routinely and safely release treated wastewater containing low levels of tritium. However, experts are divided on the risk this poses. The Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission says tritium itself is too weak to penetrate the skin, but can increase the risk of cancer if consumed in extremely large quantities. Meanwhile, the US Nuclear Regulatory Commission acknowledged that any exposure to radiation could pose some health risk, but added that everyone is exposed to small amounts of tritium every day. Robert H. Richmond, director of the Kewalo Marine Laboratory at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, is among a group of international scientists working with the Pacific Island Forum to assess the wastewater release plan, including visits to the Fukushima site and meetings with TEPCO, Japanese authorities, and the IAEA. After reviewing the details of the plan, Richmond called it ill-advised and premature. One concern is that diluting the wastewater might not be enough to reduce its impact on marine life. Pollutants like tritium can pass through various levels of the food chain, including plants, animals, and bacteria, and be bioaccumulated, meaning they will build up in the marine ecosystem, Richmond said. He added that the world's oceans are already under stress from climate change, ocean acidification, overfishing, and pollution. The last thing it needs is to be treated like a dumping ground, he said. The potential risks won't just affect the Asia-Pacific region. One 2012 study found evidence that bluefin tuna had transported radionuclides, radioactive isotopes like the ones in nuclear wastewater, from Fukushima across the Pacific to California. This has led to concerns among residents in the region, with some shoppers stocking up on seafood and sea salt for fear that these products may be impacted by the wastewater release. In South Korea, sea salt prices have jumped, with store owners saying their sales had doubled recently, according to Reuters. The Korean Fisheries Authority also said it would ramp up efforts to monitor salt farms for radioactivity and maintain a ban on seafood from waters near Fukushima. Members of the Korean public have also staged protests against the plan, with some donning gas masks outside the Japanese embassy in Seoul. Opinion is mixed among the Japanese public too. A survey by Asahi Shimbun in March found that 51% of 1,304 respondents supported the wastewater release, while 41% opposed it. Earlier this year, residents in the capital Tokyo took to the streets to protest the plan. In Fukushima, the prefecture where the disaster occurred, local fishermen have been vocal against the plan from day one. For many years after the meltdown, authorities suspended their fishing operations and other countries introduced import restrictions. Even after the surrounding water and fish returned to safe levels, consumer confidence was never fully restored, and Fukushima's fishing industry is now worth just a fraction of what it once was. The release of wastewater could further damage Fukushima's global and regional reputation, once again hurting fishermen's livelihoods, many argue. The controversy surrounding the wastewater release highlights the difficult trade-offs that countries face when it comes to nuclear power. Nuclear energy is a clean energy source that can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but it also comes with risks and responsibilities, as evidenced by the Fukushima disaster. The decision to release the wastewater into the ocean is a complex one that requires balancing environmental, health, and economic concerns. As the world continues to grapple with climate change and the need for more sustainable energy sources, it's important to consider the potential risks and impacts of each option. Nuclear power can be a valuable part of the mix, but it needs to be managed responsibly, with transparency and accountability. The Fukushima disaster serves as a reminder of the importance of safety measures and contingency planning, and the need for ongoing public dialogue. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content from Wonderland. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more fascinating stories from around the world.